Howdy, welcome back to RC Resto Mod. You may wonder what I've been up to the last few days, and I'll show you what I'm fixing to be up to. I made a list of what I need to do to my RC cars, and it is long. Today is Monday, and I really want to go testing and tuning again tomorrow night. We have a oval race coming up on Saturday, so tomorrow is like my last day to get my junk ready to race on the weekend. So I put arrows beside the important things. The Mud Boss needs a servo. I can't drive it without one because it's the one that's in there is done. The street stock, it needs new tires. That'll give it a lot more traction, a lot more speed, and should definitely help race results. I do have the new custom work shocks, which I never got around to filling with oil and installing on the car. I want to try those and see if I like them. If not, the factory SR10 ones that are on it right now are going right back on it. The Slash Super Stock is in a holding pattern. We'll have it painted, stickered, and all that for next year. I really don't want to break it out for the last race of the year and get it all tore up and have it compromised all through the off season, and me sitting there looking at it thinking, I really want to put a new body on it. So the off season is when it'll get tested and tuned a lot, and I'll have it primed and set up to handle well, and we should be rocking and rolling next year. The SC late model doesn't have to be done for tomorrow. I can take it. I want to re-drill the body post. We'll see if we get time for that, and I want to convert it to XT60 couplers. Don't know if I'm going to mess with that today, but I can still take it out and test the setting of the adjustable rear arms. Mud Boss needs that. Street Stock needs that. That's on a hold. The other things that are on there, I've got a lot of batteries that I want to convert to XT60s. I've got some lights for my big red crawler, the TRX4. The boat, I've got new batteries for it, and they look a lot better than the one it came with. Well, they've got a lot more milliamps per hour, so they're 3,000 instead of 1,800. So hopefully that'll be the thing that lets it make more than just one pass where it's coming up on plane and hauling butt. Maybe it'll haul butt for 3 or 4 passes now. Got some secret stuff in the works and another secret thing in the works. And you may have noticed a time or two that there is a spot on my lens that when I'm out in the sunlight, it'll catch it just right, and there's a little spot on my video. The new lenses for that GoPro or lens covers are like $11. I need to get one of those, so that's on the list. Yeah, so let's start by fixing the Mud Boss. Oh, some other new things going on the channel. I don't know if you've noticed that my drill bit set I've been using is pretty crappy. It's missing a lot. Some have broken, some have been misplaced over the years. That's an old set. So I went into Harbor Freight and I bought this set. Ooh, Warrior brand. And they've got the little hexes on the bottom, which makes on a crappy keyless chuck like I have in the drill I use on my RCs. And I would kind of recommend to you guys that you get a low power drill for working on RC stuff. It drills slower. A great big drill can just jump right through, and sometimes you want to just touch it a little bit. And that underpowered little Black & Decker I have is perfect for that. And now with these hex shank drill bits, I should be able to get a lot better holes drilled when I want to. So that's one new little thing. And then several times when I've needed to drill holes for RC cars, I've just had to go with the inch size that's closest. Not anymore. We have here, and these also are cheap. but we're going to be drilling thin pieces of aluminum and plastic, so it's fine. Metric drill bits that go from 1.5 millimeters up to 6.5. Looks like by 1/2 inch increments, except I do have a 3.2 thrown in for some reason, and a 4.8. But anyway, probably the 3 millimeter is going to get the biggest workout out of these, so I can drill a hole and have a screw fit tightly. So anyway, we've got that going on. That'll improve when I have to do a little fabrication to make things work right. And I dug through my stuff, and I am down to my last Traxxas servo. If this one does not work, for today, I'm probably going to steal the one out of the Slash Super stock we were building before to get through this weekend, and I'll probably order a couple of the Savox branded ones that are legal for Mud Boss, just because I've been kind of disappointed in these things. And this one looks like it still has plastic gears in it, so swapping over may be a bit of a process. But let me grab the car real quick. All right. The car shelf. Pull it on. That's another thing I need to buy is a bunch of body clips. All my cars have got mismatched body clips, and like a lot of them are these really small ones with very small diameter wire, where a lot of the 10th scale and bigger stuff works better with these thicker ones, and I need to get a batch of those. May dig around on Amazon and see if I can find a pack of a couple hundred of them reasonably priced somewhere. All right, well, let's dig out the servo real quick. Thought something looked weird on my video, huh? No block of wood sitting on this end of the table. Well, got one now. All right, that is working. Let's see about the servo. Let's do this so we can all find out at the same time. Okay, let's see what happens. Nope, nothing until it's plugged in. 2, 3. Okay. You ready? You guys can't see it over the video, I'm sure, but in my hand I can feel that when it turns right, it's taking a second to recenter. Right there. That last, when it goes this way, it snaps back. See, that's nice and smooth, returning to vertical. Going the other way, that last little bit is dragging, which is the same thing this one's doing, only more pronounced. We'll go back and show you that one again. All right, now watch this one. It's dragging just a little bit coming from when we turn left, and when we turn right. All right, snapping back. It's doing. It's also taking a while to go all the way to its left-hand side. When I turn left, it's dragging. It's taking forever to recenter. Not feeling very good about this option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both of these apart. I want to swap the metal gears from this one into this one and lubricate everything and see if that fixes it. If it does, I'll go ahead and install this one. If not, we'll steal the servo out of the other car and order a couple. And guys, if you haven't had to do this yet on your Traxxas products, you will. It really doesn't matter what Traxxas product you buy if you don't, unless you get an Ultimate, you're probably gonna get a servo with plastic gears in it. And they're gonna strip, but I'd kinda like to show you how easy that is to fix. There are 4 screws in the bottom of the servo. We just loosen those up. Then if we pull off the top, you can see there's just gears in there that are very easy to remove. You just take a screwdriver in there and kind of pry up on them a little bit and they'll come right out. There's a gasket around the top. You want to protect that because that keeps dirt and water out of your servo. And this gear has a bearing in the back of it, and that one's in really good shape, as is that one. Then you got this gear that sits on the top there, and then that little gear just sits there, and then there's a big flat one that sits against the bottom. Come on. Oh, I forgot that. Where this little shaft is, the boss that holds this shaft, which is, it just presses in it. There's no power going through it. That's just, I guess that's where the input is, but there's a gear down here that's exposed because that boss has a relief on it. So when you go to pull this one out, you have to remove the... Anyway, once you remove the pin, then that gear comes out really easily. So that one has been de-geared. Let's plug it back in and see if it runs smoother. See if maybe it had a little problem in its gears, and it's gonna give me some confidence that it'll work fine now. Okay, that didn't work. All right, guys, sorry about that. I had to step away for a bit. Now let's pull the metal gears out of this one. That's where the difference in price comes in between your expensive and cheap Traxxas servos. Cheap plastic gears versus obviously more expensive to make metal gears.
Can measure this moment in a photograph. You look so beautiful, baby. I know you're the love of my life. You changed my world. Yeah, you saved me without even trying. I got a feeling like never before that all these miles were worth it. Chasing your heart and running the ghosts, 'cause I will be loved by you.
there so you guys can see the results. It's slow to find center. There's the worst one. So let's go left turn. Problem's down in this end, and down in this end is not repairable. So I will probably take this one apart and take those metal gears we just put in it out and put them in a little plastic bag in my collection of stuffs. But in the meantime, we can't run that one. So we'll turn this off. I'm gonna have to borrow a servo from something else. See if ye old bandit wouldn't mind loaning a servo for a little bit. It's not a Traxxas servo. Oh, it's the other Mud Boss legal servo. Okay, that one is a, that's the Savox that's legal in Mud Boss. So that is okay, provided it works. Try to get this over there where you guys can see how well that servo works. Okay, that one seems to be working just fine. So we're gonna harvest the servo out of this one, put it in this one, and then we'll probably just order up a, matter of fact, I may go ahead and just put the Traxxas one back in there. This is just a basher. So the fact that it doesn't recenter real quick will be not that big a deal. Guys, before you put a servo horn on, always make sure it's zero, it's centered. So right now it is centered. And then we'll center up that steering mechanism, and now we can see how our servo horn needs to be installed. Let's open up that tape and see what we've got inside. Okay, those are soldered and heat shrunk joints. I am comfortable rerunning with those. That looks to be just fine. Let's clean up the outside of this a little bit. Centered. So upside down, do this part. Oh, that's a better servo than that Traxxas one ever was. I'm kind of motivated. However, since this has been shortened, it's not going to reach under here like the old one did, which, blessing and a curse, it's a lot easier to route it. We'll get just a couple of little zip ties and we'll tie it to the wire coming from the transponder. Call that one a day. All right, let's check all the functions before we call it done. Guys, right now, I want to tell you, if you're running a mud box, go get you that Savox servo, because I'm pretty sure that's the one that's legal. I'm going to do a quick search of our club rules just to be sure. Let's see. Oh, no. This one is not the legal one. This is 0254 and the legal one is 0252. So I'm going to have to order a replacement, but this will get me through TNT tomorrow because I really wasn't worried that much about the steering. I was worried a whole lot more about the camber and the preload on my springs, which are things I can deal with even with the wrong servo in it. I'm not going to cheat and try to race it with the wrong servo because that wouldn't be right. So we'll have to order the right one, but in the meantime, that'll get us going. All right. Let's take the battery out of this one. Back in. But the other thing the car needs for testing, it's now Tuesday, for testing tonight, is it needs new rear tires. So we're gonna glue up a new set of rear tires for it. The disc wheels, I want to be straight up with you, they don't look as good, but they're also harder to bend. And these are associated wheels. It's just like, it's the same offset and everything that would have come on the car new, so I don't have to worry about fitment issues. Just a good way to go. Now, one other thing that Associated does is they have 2 good vent holes in the rim. And because they've got vent holes in the rim, I don't think it's necessary to vent the tire. But what is necessary is we need to clean up that bead so that it will get good adhesion. So get some glass cleaner instead. That stuff's evaporating so fast because I live in a desert. All right, made the switch to spray weight glass cleaner because the solvents in this electrical contact cleaner were just evaporating immediately. I wasn't getting any chance to clean the tire. Go ahead and vent these tires, even though I'll set this up for the smallest hole, so you can adjust the size of the hole by spinning this wheel. I got these at Harbor Freight for not very much money. That does appear to be the smallest hole maker. So let's roll it around. And we'll just take the wheel and try to hit it right smack dab in the middle. It's hard to see it, but if you flip it inside out, you can find the hole pretty easily. There. We'll put another one 180 degrees away. It doesn't take very much force at all to pop that. And there we go. Now we'll take those 2 holes. Try to keep your finger close to it. All right. Foam's back inside the tire. There's one of our holes. Factory holes, we'll stagger it so there's a hole either on the inside or the outside every 90 degrees. you get it like that, you need to press, make sure the foam is centered up. You can rub it back and forth in your hands, like that. Get it on a hard surface, and take it back and forth, really putting some pressure on it. Try to get everything centered up as best you can. Then when it looks right, we'll just set it off to that side and get this one going. This is the thin glue that comes from Hobby Lobby, and mine leaked in my toolbox, and so it looks like heck, but it'll still work for this. I'll probably replace it soon. But the one other tool you absolutely want are these little gluing tips. You used to be able to purchase them at Hobby Lobby, but not anymore. I bought these off Amazon, and I think I got like, I don't know, it was 25 or 50. It was a whole bunch of them for next to no money. So push that on, and then you want to take your tire, work the bead back just a little bit, and I have to put it where I can see it. And this is why I like the super thin one, because you can just kind of wick it down, and if you can, I hope it shows in the video, that shiny stuff is the glue, and it kind of runs. So you just get to where the end of where it's run, add a little bit more, and you just kind of keep working it around. I got a little bit on the tire there. I really try to avoid getting any on the tire because it just looks bad. And it does not take very much glue at all to get a good seat. If everything's clean, so we got the glue, and then we can kind of, I really wish they'd show it's the very edge of the tire is a little bit shiny where there's glue on it. But that should make it stick. And all we need to do now is let those dry for a couple of minutes, and then we'll flip it over and do the other side. All right, it should be dry. So let's flip it over, and now we got to do the back side. Now we let that side dry, and I'm going to go over to my trash can and blow some air through this tip so that I can use it again later. Even though they're super cheap, I am super cheap, and I want to save it. That has 2 cars ready to go this evening. Now it's time for the third, and it should be the easiest one to fix. So let's get it up here and get it ready. All right, the main problem with this car right now is that these body posts here in the middle will not stay tight. The front ones do fine. The back ones are factory Team Associated stuff. They do great. Looking at that spur, yeah, it's probably done after tonight's test and tune session. But these will not stay tight. And if we flip the car over and get a look at it, see right here, see how tiny that screw looks and how big the countersinking is? I think that this piece was designed for the one size bigger screw, but the body post wasn't. So what we're going to have to do is drill out the body post a little bit so it'll handle a bigger screw, and then they should stay tight. Because what comes loose is this screw head eating into the carbon right there. So let's see what we can do to fix that. Hopefully you can see that. And the one reason this is such a big problem is because when you're in a hurry trying to stab the body post on, very difficult to get them lined up. And look how short that screw is. We're going to fix all that at once. So let's remove the other one. So what we want to do is open up this hole. If we get that post to hold these bigger screws, let's see how that fit. That does not fit through there, but if we drill out the center to where this will slide through, I think we're going to get a whole lot better fit. So let's give that a shot. Okay, what size is that? That is a 4mm screw. Alright, that 3.5mm feels really good. That's a much tighter situation. Now let's take the other one and we're just going to bust it out to 3.5 from the get-go to save ourselves some time. This one. This is a perfect fit. Now, could I have done that with my inch dimension bits? Probably. I could have found something that would have worked. But here is where having metric drill bits is really going to come in awesome. All right, let's put away the 3.2. Let's put away the 3.5. And now we have a 4mm. So we'll take the chassis and we'll open up that hole to 4mm exactly. Okay, with those holes opened out to 4mm, so anyway, let's want this body pinhole going perpendicular to the length of the chassis. I want it going straight across like that. So we're going to hold it that way as we tighten the screw. All right, make sure that's right. The countersink doesn't sit as flush as I wish it did, but this body post is freaking tight now, so that is a major improvement. That is so much better. Now, at night, when I'm in the pits and I'm trying to slam the body on and go make a race, those holes will always be turned this way, so I'll be able to line up the body pins a lot easier. That's going to stay good and tight. One guy was suggesting that we put rubber under these to give them some flexibility, but they're plastic and pretty long, so you can see they move a long ways. And they're mounted to a piece of flexible carbon fiber, so they move a long ways. This front has a lot of motion in it because it's on a piece of ABS plastic that's pretty thin. And then the back ones, well, they're all plastic. They've got some flexibility, so it's all, I don't like that little, it's a piece of casting flash that is just inherent in the plastic part there. But we have a means to remove it, so let's do that. That's another thing that's bothered me. That's it. So that knob is off. And this one's ready to go to test and tune. Hey guys, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I'm a little over 40 minutes into this video, and so are you if you're still watching, and I am sick and tired of editing. I did take some footage of the cars that we just finished working on being tested and tuned at the track, and I think I'll put that in a future episode real soon, probably in just a couple of days. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, throw me a like and subscribe. If you've got some suggestions that'll make the jobs I did any better, drop them down in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you soon on RC Restomod.